Absolutely, and thank you so much for staying right there. My good name is Brian Sakwa, and welcome back. The hashtag is Y in the morning, and if you missed the first conversation with Stephanie, you can always forward back and get to catch up or less. You can see it on YouTube now. In this last conversation, we are delving into matters building yourself a career. As a young person, you need something to just set your life, and that will help you to actually find out what you can do for your life and literally build something meaningful and become a responsible person in society. And one agency that's doing this is Career Access Africa. And today, to talk about matters career in the digital age, I'm being joined by Gina Austin. He's an intern at Career Access Africa, alongside his counterpart, Daniel Ulinge. He's an admin at Career Access Africa as well. Good morning, nice to meet you. Fresh minds.
Thank you.
Fresh minds is the word because you guys are still young, yeah? So maybe I can start off with you, Daniel. When you look at the young people in our country, and I think there's usually, when you're still young, you struggle with identity crises, trying to learn who you are as a young person. Sometimes maybe you need support and guidance, but what you guys are doing at Career Africa, Access Africa, not to forget the word, is you're helping young people to find out what they can do in terms of their profession. So you guys take them through like some sort of counseling and even career trajectory. Please talk to us about that.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for having this opportunity to be here and speak to you guys. So as you've heard, Career Access Africa, that's what we do. Like, let's say we first go to schools because we organize career fairs. So our main agenda is to help students realize who they want to become. Because actually for me personally, I believe, people have been saying we have no jobs, but I believe that the problem is actually determining your career, because you find that a lot of people go into the same career thinking that, if I do this, I cannot be able to, succeed in life. So we show them that not only in schools actually they are motivated to work hard to go to specific careers, but now for us we widen the career field. Now we show you, for example, I can use my own personal story. For me, I wanted to become a doctor. So I worked.
And you're still in the dream and
vision? I'm still in the dream, of course, but now after I finished my Form 4 in November, I realized no.
November of this year?
Not
last year, sorry.
No, 2023.
2023. That's just a year.
Yeah. So I thought of course I want to become a doctor, but I felt like I love speaking to, helping students. And I noticed that in school, the career counselors we were brought, they were old, so they were so professional. So you felt like you're just there, not even following on what they are speaking. So I thought, how about I become like myself, I do the same, and then engage the young people in a way that we can be free, you see, from
relatable and connect.
Exactly.
And
so
that's
after
how you began.
Yeah, so that's how I began. So I just before I struggled actually to find somewhere where I can settle, but now in December, actually the same year now, because actually in school I was the head of career department. So when Career Access Africa came to school, they met me first because they must pass through my office first to get to the students. So it happened that the manager had already noticed me. So they called me and they told me, we noticed that you can be able to speak to students and we want to, they actually paid for my training actually. So they told me, we'll pay for your training, and if you're interested, you can also work at our company. So I was like, how can I become a career counselor? I want to become a doctor, but now career counseling, it's not my thing. But now, I love speaking to students. I really love to see students succeed. So I said, let me dive into it and see how it goes.
How old are you again?
I'm 18.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
At 18, loving seeing others succeed is impressive.
Yeah, so I said, okay, let me just engage in it. So as I was trained, as I started my training, that's when I started realizing, so these young people, we really lack a lot of things in terms of careers. Because I was thinking of how many careers do we know in high school? Let's say medicine, these big careers.
Like engineer,
engineering,
doctor, surgeon, pilot, journalist.
Exactly. And then you find that after you finished with your Form 4, maybe let's say you fail to get that grade. So even that you get the cut-off points, you're not getting them well. So even that realizing what you want to do in life will become difficult, because most of them lose hope, you're like, I can't become a doctor. So that's why actually we also brought in this initiative of studying abroad, because it's different from in Kenya, because they don't have cut-off points. So you can find that a student in Kenya cannot be able to access medicine with a grade like a B or A minus, But in abroad, they look at your potential. They don't look at the grade. They look at, okay, you had A in biology, but let's say your overall is B. So they look at your potential. They interview you at a personal level. They know you really want to become a doctor or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The abroad part is big, and I love it. But is it designed for specific countries or generally, like literally outside Africa at large, or Kenya?
Yeah, it's outside Kenya because you also have students interested in. We go as per the student interest, but now for us, we've partnered with schools because you can just take a student to any school because you also need to keep in contact to know if the student is good, if they are, taken well care of. So we also need to keep in contact with the students. So we take them to schools where we have, like, it's just we've signed contracts with the schools. So, but we have schools all over the world, but not all the schools in the world. Yeah.
Next, maybe let me engage Mr. Austin Mulinge. When it comes to Ngina, sorry, Ngina, not Mulinge, Daniel Mulinge. Ngina Austin.
Yes.
When it came for you for the time you joined a Career Access Africa, were you handpicked from a large chunk of young people, or there was some sort of potential that they saw you, but you were good at, and then they decided, you know what, come on board, or you looked for them personally?
No, what I did when I was in school, I engaged much with my teachers, as he has said. They noticed me also. I was the deputy captain of my school.
Of your high school?
Yeah. Okay. I was very interactive in terms of academics and careers. I believe as young people, many have the potential of doing certain careers and getting certain grades, but in the field now, in the actual field of careers, you get that some people are disappointed, some people didn't want this. So I was speaking to people a lot, and as he has said also, the manager noticed me, and immediately I finished school, she contacted me. She told me to come on board, and that is why I am an intern.
Yeah. Right.
Just to add on what you said, I believe that also Career Access Africa, they also have that initiative of once we go to schools, they also want to bring out, like, to nurture some talent. So if they notice you love speaking to people, they'll actually offer you an internship later once you out of high school. So now for them now, they will start their training now. If they want to become career counselors, it's well and good, but now they'll do their training. They're also applying, actually, because for them, it's like a privilege. So if you do internship in Career Access Africa, the applications will be free. We have applications fees and stuff. So for them, it's free of charge. So as they're waiting for, because most probably they'll join in the September intake. So they'll be trained about career and career counseling. So if you feel like you want to continue with it, it's well and good. You can be a permanent, employee of Career Access Africa.
Yeah, and I want us to move away from mentioning Career Access Africa a lot, because we've done it for the better part of the introduction.
Exactly.
I want us to move to, because I think a couple of weeks ago, I was spoken to a teacher slash a student in this platform as well. The teacher expressed that when it comes to learners, young learners, their voices in terms of what they want to do in life is a little bit shaky. There's a bit of undecisiveness, yeah? You want to be a doctor, but then you want to be a DJ. You want to be a DJ, but then you want to be a pastor. You want to be a teacher, but you want to be an engineer. Yeah. So how do you instill the strong belief of self-confidence and now professionalism in these young minds? Because you guys, there's that experimentalism that happens with young people, especially teenagers.
Yeah, exactly. So number one, what I believe first is you should know what you want with your career. You see, maybe you want your career to become famous, you want to have a lot of money. We have different career goals. So number one, you should know, what's your career goal eventually? What do let's say I want to be a doctor. Why do you want to be a doctor? Is it to help people or to have money? You see, if it's to help people, that's basically the best, or nursing, the best cause. But if it's to have a lot of money, of course we have a lot of ways where you can earn money, because I believe most of the young people, that's their main intent. They want a career where they'll be stable. So that's why while they're interacting with their friends say, my dad is a DJ, he earns this amount of money, and then they compare with the amount of money an engineer can earn, so they switch to. So I think it all comes from the point of view career goal. I think that's actually where we young people fail to understand ourselves better. What's our career goal really? Do you want to help people, to be famous, to do you just want to be a professional? We have people who love to wearing suits, I want a career where I'll be wearing suits or being in the office, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it all starts with your career goal. Once you know your career goal, actually, it becomes so easy for you to know what to do in life. Because if it's money, you know, that's a flexible student. But not if we have those who have like specific interests, let's say, like you just love handling machines, you know. So for that, you'll narrow down to the courses that will lead you to handling machines.
Yeah.
So for me, I personally believe that your career goal matters the most.
Should be the first on the list.
Yeah.
But then also when you look at our education structure, it's best of, like what I think a couple of weeks ago now, the KCSE results were released, and the government NEC issued an outline of who will make it to the higher learning institution.
Exactly.
But then, from what I'm borrowing from you guys is that your grade sometimes might not even determine your next frontier.
Yeah.
So that maybe could be an outside personal initiative, yeah? So how do you also tap into these young people, especially those that have finished high school? But you mentioned it's possible even for someone who's in Form 2 and 3.
No,
still
Form
be-
3.
oh,
For Form 3,
3.
it's a little
It's a
bit
bit
difficult.
early, right?
Yeah.
So it's Form 3
Form
and
3
4.
and Form 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or also depending on the kind of institution, could be international.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you divert that?
So, okay. So first of all, you know, maybe let me first speak about KCSE, because we have that crisis in our company, because most of the students actually want to pursue big careers, of course. So let's say you find that they feel like their grade is not, you know, enough for them to be able to pursue that. So what we do when we were trained about careers, we learned something about you know, you can use, we have career, we have, I mean, passion and interest. So you can use your interest to get you to your passion, or you can use your passion to get to your interest. So meaning, let's say you want to become a doctor, so and you you know how to draw, but your main goal is to become a doctor. So you can do a course in architecture, not like that will be your profession. You just want to use, let's say if it's in terms of your grade, you know, you can't, you know, medicine, of course, they require high grade. So, because architecture, it's good for you because you experience in it. So you use architecture. Then after that, now you can branch to medicine. Like they call it, you can use your interest to fund your passion, or passion to fund your interest.
I get that. So be a DJ, make money, and
make money.
Come back and you can go be a doctor.
Because actually, most of them, I think about the big courses. Actually, it's not even about the grades; it's about the costs.
Right.
Yeah, because about the grade, you can even start with a diploma or a certificate. So I don't think that grades matter so much in terms of your career. I think what matters in those big courses, it's the cost.
The cost,
yeah, I think that's
maybe also the institution or where you're going to also pursue
exactly,
it,
yeah.
Now there's tertiary institutions right here in Kenya.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm coming back to you shortly for you to outline the opportunities that come with being in your institution and some of the tremendous strides and progress. But for you, Austin, I don't know, what do you want to become? Or professionally, what are you working on at Career Access Africa?
I am an intern, but what I want to become in life, I want to become a doctor, but I am good in speaking to people. I do speak to a lot of people. I do teach.
So public speaking is part of your...
Yeah, it is part of me. I just got myself speaking to a lot of people. Yeah, it started as a joke. By the way,
as a joke?
Yeah.
But what happened?
I was in class 8 that time. I was told to preach to the rest of my school. That time, you know, that stage fright and stuff when you stand in front of people. And then it just hit me. I can speak to people. And yeah, and I grew into it. Entering Form 1, it was very easy.
Yeah.
Form 2, Form 3, and then that's why I was chosen as a deputy captain academics. I was very good in academics and very good in public speaking. So you get that in all assemblies. I could speak to people, I could tell people certain topics about careers, about life out here. Yeah, and that is how I am here today.
Yeah. Remind me, you said you want to be a doctor.
A doctor.
A doctor still, because you also want to be a doctor,
exactly.
Right? Same age still, 18?
No, I am 17.
You're 17.
Actually, it's kind of funny because me and him in the same school, he used to serve under me because I was also I was the, you know, the head of discipline of the students' council. So by the time I was in
must
school,
have been really harsh on
exactly.
your,
So he was under
on
me.
your comrades,
so yeah, and also we also served like in the CU. Again with him because he loves, you know, to preach.
Harsh or strict, the word strict.
Yeah, I'm very harsh by the way when it comes to discipline.
Yeah, he's very, that I can testify.
Yeah.
Right, that's impressive. But then when you look at the skills that you guys have gotten and how you guys are speaking vehemently about the things you're passionate about, I'm trying to picture a Gen Z in the interior of the mosque in this country who has no idea what in the wahala do I even begin to do so that I can get to be like you guys? Maybe let me come back to you. If you were to package this conversation to such a young mind, now borrowing from experience at Career Access Africa, how do you guys channel it down now to the interiors? Let's just call them minorities who have no info or skills or tools of how to be like you, and even on TV.
Okay, so first of all, we have something we call CAA Scholars Program. It's called Career Access Africa Scholars Program. It's mostly like designed for people, let me call them the less fortunate, who cannot afford to pay for their school fees. So what happens in that is they pay, like they sponsor them fully, even in terms of, let's say you want to study in Kenya, you want to study abroad, you sponsored fully. So like we also go to the interior actually. So like we say today we're going to Turkana, we go there, we speak to the students, we engage them. And you know, when engaging with a person, you'll notice that this guy has got something in them. So when we go there, we usually, but then we pick a lot of students, we train them. We can even be, you know, hiring somebody to go to their places if they cannot make to come to, you know, to Nairobi to our offices. So like through that interaction, we're able to notice this student has got a skill in a specific thing. So like, and most of them actually, from the most that I've interacted with, they usually perform well. So most of them qualify for the full scholarships. And you know, for full scholarships, you get to the Ivy League schools, the likes of Harvard, you know, Cambridge. So for the most of the students actually qualify, because I believe that, you know, what makes you learn is like also your background also matters. So if you notice like your background, it's not so stable, you will learn like to improve it. So most of them, you find that they have very nice grades. So for them, for us to engage them, it's so easy because they'll just be sponsored fully, because I told you we're sponsored by MasterCard. So they look at those students, because like for a person like me, of course getting a sponsorship will be so hard, a full one. We also have passion, but for me, because you see, they'll see like the opportunities I've had, you see whatever I've been exposed to, they look at that. So you have to show that maybe, you know, you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable. And also in terms of exposure, they also want those people who are not exposed yet. Like for me to get it, I'll have to
Is that a good thing or a bad thing though?
Okay, for me, I believe it's kind of an advantage to them, but now to people like me, it's kind of, you know, I also want like a full scholarship, you know. So it's kind of a disadvantage to me, but
Okay, I get that.
But
But then I'm looking at this conversation has to happen with both parties on board, the learner, in this, for instance, and now the guardian. So how do you engage both parties?
Okay, so as I told you earlier, when we go to schools, the students who are interested usually register with us. And if you open our portal, the registration form usually indicate your parents' details, like their email, their contacts. Let's say some of them you have to indicate the address and where you live. So now after, you know, of course, a student can be interested in something, but the parent is not, you know, into it. So we engage them both. So let's say you call the student first, you ask them, you still interested? Okay. So you don't deal with the student so much, you're just guiding him or her on matters to do with career. But now for the parent now is where now you put your effort the most, because you have to speak to, because most of the, actually for us it's so difficult, you know, calling just like a person like, you know, I know your son from, you know, this place and this, most of them will have doubts. So you also have to be so convincing that it's true, you know, their son. That's why we first use their kids first, because we were in their school, and then now we get to the parents, because they have to indicate the contacts. Then from the parents now, we now continue to interacting with them further, now engage them in every activity that we have. If it's a career fair, we also call them, both of them, they attend our career fairs. I believe it's from the career fairs where most of the parents realize, like, you know, my child really needs this. So we also invite the parents to career fairs, because most of the parents, you know, they believe that, you know, you have to be a doctor, you have to be an engineer to make it in life. So if they go into
There's that traditional mindset,
So if we engage them, we realize that, you know, the career world is so big.
There's a lot beyond what you know about going to school, finish, graduate, get a job, get married, you know, like it is. Let me come back to you, Austin, but we are still getting to the progress that you guys have made at Career Access Africa. What would you say are the non-transferable skills? Because I believe all this thing is all about skilling. Yeah. You would say non-transferable or maybe also transferable skills that you have acquired or you've learned since you joined Career Access Africa, that any Gen Z who's watching right now, if they see you, they definitely want to gravitate to be like you.
Yeah, I have learned, what I have gained from Daniel and from others is career counseling. As much as I was into public speaking, I couldn't guide one into a certain career, but what I have heard from them, from calls, from personal interviews, they have talked to parents, I have been there overhearing the conversations and all that. So due to this, you get that I pick information from time to time and get to know of the countries, of the courses, of what a student needs to do in order to do this career, of the passion, of the interest, as he has said. Yeah, so I acquire that slowly by slowly. Yeah. And now I can guide one into a certain career that he or she wants to do in life. Not only based on what the parents wishes the child to do, but also according to the passion or interest of the child.
Yeah, impressive. But you're still in connection with your guardians as well?
Yeah, I am. I still live with my parents.
You still live with your parents? Yeah. So they support you in I don't know if you guys also offer the financial part?
Yeah, we do.
The financial facilitation is there?
Yeah.
Right, sir, thank you. Let me come back to you. In terms of progress now, what are some of the, you'd say, defined successes that you guys have managed to accomplish for yourself? In Kenya, you've said you've been in operation since 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you were to present it, maybe, yeah.
Okay, so generally we have over 300 alumni. So for you to be counted as an alumni in Career Access Africa, you have to complete your, course. Yeah, we have over 1,000 students on board, like continuing their courses. But now the 300 are the people who have graduated from their courses. And also we have like 10 students who also graduated from Ivy League. When I talk of Ivy League,
Ivy League is
it's
an elite structure.
Exactly. So we have 10 of them actually. I believe actually they were even looking for an opportunity to, come here. It's just that they did not make it. They wanted to be in this part of conservation.
Is this some form of fellowship or scholarship? For fellowship, scholarship,
Okay, for Ivy League, Ivy League schools are expensive. So if a student performs well for our company, they sponsor you fully.
Oh, so it's a sponsorship.
It's a sponsorship but now, you see, let's say you don't qualify for the Ivy League schools, you also have partial, but now for partial, the parent will have to chip in something. Yeah, they'll not give you a full scholarship, they'll just give you a partial, meaning let's say if you have A minus, you qualify at 80%, your parents will have to chip in with a 20% scholarship.
Right.
Yeah, the remaining amount of money.
Right.
Yeah.
300 is a huge chunk. So from this 300, most of them right now are into what professions? I cannot be able to list all of them. We have doctors, we have engineers, lawyers, but most of them actually, once they get outside the country, they broaden their mindset. So actually, you just have a few, like 5, who came back to settle in Kenya. If let's say you go to USA, you notice that USA, the economy is far more way better than Kenya. And so you opt to to settle there. So most of the students, once they get out of here, it's so rare for them to come back. I don't know, we don't get those students who come back, and settle in Kenya. Because most of them, if you call them, they'll tell you, I'm in Poland, I'm in Canada. I decided to apply for a PR in, USA. So most of them, once, I believe that it actually happens to all the students. Once you get out and interact with their fellow students, you will know actually, if I do this here, I'll be able to succeed. So I also believe that, moving out is also an advantage to a student in terms of you broadening your mindset, career-wise, and also market-wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at also a Gen Z from the interior who says, I'm just passionate about plumbing. Plumbing, yeah?
Yeah.
But how can they shift their mindset to be like you? In terms of now, you can diversify your career. Yes, you can be a plumber. That's what you want. Or maybe also the grade that you got, maybe. But then also we're looking at, a traditional African structure, the things that are said in your environment. They say your environment structures and shapes who you are. They are kind of like limiting beliefs. Do you guys also help to unplug those, sealed holes and, you know, let's enlighten you. There's a bigger world than what you know.
Yeah, we do, but you know, at first we also have to support, you know, the child's interest. That's why we have some universities called community development schools. Actually, also outside the country, they now support in that. And actually, you know, most of the people believe, you know, like a course like you've mentioned, plumbing is, you know, what's plumbing cannot give me so much money. But once they get to those schools, actually, because a community development school is designed to, you know, it just supports your current whatever you want to do. Then from there now they'll diversify you, because you know, you see when you're learning, they realize, this student can be able to speak, so they'll connect you now to something that, of course, you'll still do your
Related to
plumbing,
what you're
yeah,
passionate.
to what you're passionate about.
Okay.
So for that, we first engage them in the community development schools. You do your plumbing, of course. Then before you finish it, actually, you will have realized where, because the school will, you know, look at you closely, like at a personal level. Know what can you do better apart from plumbing. Like, let's say if you love speaking, maybe can you do like something like journalism, something like, you know, public speaking. And it's from that now where the students will now realize, oh, you know, I can also do this, I can also do that. For that, but now if they are flexible, you know, most of them, they're so rigid. So like telling them, you know, you can't do this, it's like, you know, they feel bad about it. Now, if you're so flexible, of course, we have like something we call career, whatever. It's called a career talk base point in our company. So we call you now, we analyze like courses. We can also call a plumber as well. Now, and you see, now we engage you in a talk for you to see which is the best course that you can take, or which is the best path that that you can take. Yeah.
What are some of the interesting, I'd say, maybe encounters that you would say are life-opening since you started your journey at Career Access Africa, especially learning from the environment of the young minds you've interacted with? Maybe interesting discoveries that adults need to be aware of in terms of now, because I think there's usually a slight misunderstanding between the elder people or the elderly, sometimes the youth, and now the younger ones, the Gen Zs now.
Basically, let's say in terms of like even having conversations, like some parents come to the offices with their students, and then like the two of them might like in a quarrel, they've not even like talked. So the student's like, you know, I wanted to do medicine, and the dad is like, no, I'm the one paying, you cannot be able to do that. So it's like they in a conflict. So, you know, as like a mediator, you have to try and
listen to both parties.
Listen to both parties. So it's kind of hard, by the way, because, you know, you also want the parent to be comfortable, and also you also want the student to be comfortable. So for you trying to figure out which is the best path for you to use to calm them down and, you know, lead them to a common or the same, you know, conclusion, it's kind of, you know, tricky if you're not experienced, actually. Also, we have parents who came, like, you know, let's say, for example, we have students, like, let me use the US case, for example. Let's say we train the student well, then they go to the embassy, like, they tense and everything like evaporates. So, you know, for that they cannot give you visa. So the parent comes into the office, like attacking, like, you know, doing no.
You are a failure.
Yeah, like
you did not prove yourself.
You did not. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we also have to calm them and also show them that, you know, this
is a young person.
Yeah, this is a young person. Things do happen in life. I think actually what brings, I think, those differences is most people are not like ready to accept that things do happen in life, and after that thing happens, whatever happens, it really has a solution. Yeah.
So you agree there's a misunderstanding?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a slight misunderstanding, especially during your, I say, experimental years as a young person.
Exactly.
Where you want this, but your guardian wants you for this.
Especially for me, you see, when I'm grading a student, the parents will be like, you see, you're young. That's why you're supporting that. So you see, trying to convince the parent actually will be so much hard, because the parents will believe that you're just looking at your fellow students, you know, interests, because you're both almost age mates. I know what I'm talking about. So you see, for you to show them that, you know, whatever you're talking about is, you know, it's like making sense. You have to prove yourself a lot.
But just what happened to just listening to, you know, your child? I think that's what parents should do, right? Guardians, listen to your child and compare ideas, contrast and compare, and agree on a common ground.
I believe that even like a parent's, like, in terms of career, once you dive into career so much, a parent's input is usually so little. Actually, a parent is needed in terms of finances.
Like what have you done? What have you agreed on? Can we finance it here?
Yeah, it's upon this. You know what you want to do, because most of the parents, I believe actually most of the crisis that we have, it's because of their parents misguide their students or their kids, or let me call them that way. Like you see, let's say your parents is a doctor. Let's say they feel like they're earning well, they're stable, and you're not even passionate about medicine. Most of the parents will ensure that eventually you dive into. So like they try to force you in every way, and most of the we Gen Zs, like we don't
want that.
We don't want pressure.
You guys want social media. Oh, you don't want less pressure.
Yeah, we want zero pressure. So
zero pressure.
Yeah, and nowadays actually, like I think that this office kind of thing, like this official, like Gen Z
9 to 5 in short.
Exactly. Like you see, going to wear like official. Like personally, I hate wearing suits. So like you telling me to do a career
and you'll
that
soon
I
be a doctor.
Suits.
You want to. But times have changed. Actually,
exactly.
We've seen pediatricians with dreadlocks. We've seen, in fact, on this show, I've interviewed a pediatrician who's a rapper, a hip hop rapper. Yeah,
exactly.
And
so
dealing with kids.
And I believe most of the parents are not like willing to support, our dreams, because they just believe in the professional path. They forget that we also have a passion in it.
Right.
See, like telling your parents want to become a DJ, most of them will like.
They'll be like, unique career.
Who
bewitched my son?
Yeah, let me come back to you. Yes. When you look at what he's saying, in this digital age, there's a lot of opportunities as well. As we go by artificial intelligence, I don't know what app is coming next that's going to turn the whole digital space upside down. So how have you prepared yourself as a young person to tap into the digital space in terms of now creating a forte? I've seen, in fact, the biggest number of famous people in Kenya are Gen Zs on social media who have numbers, go on TikTok at midnight, playing games, dancing, explaining ideas, even the protest, Gen Z. In fact, they're called the Gen Z, legendary Gen Z protests. How have you prepared yourself?
I have done research personally and with friends. When I work in the company, there is this time that I take to do research on what I want to do. For example, I want to become a surgeon. So I go to YouTube using the company's laptop. I watch some of surgeries that are done, and I decide of what to do. And even in guiding other people, I do tell them to do research. We do research with them. For example, one tells me I want to become an engineer. I show them, is this what you want? I show them some videos of examples of engineers. We do call them. We show them the real field of how this work field is. Yeah, and eventually the student and I come to a decision. I want to do this or I don't want to do this. Yeah.
You have social media platforms as well?
Yeah, I do have social media. I am in Instagram. I'm also in YouTube and X.
Right, so you'll share with us shortly as we exit. But we had a question of the day, and I want you guys to react on it first before we come to a close. So we had asked our viewer back at home, we were talking about Still Matters career. What is that job that receives a lot of recognition, honor, and respect, but pays little money, according to your Gen Z understanding? Like if you would observe, or from the stories you've heard, read, videos you've watched, anywhere, this career used to be massive, but right now, in my understanding, I feel like it has less pay. Or also a career that was seriously very lucrative, but right now, when you look at the the dramas and the stories that you witness and read on socials, you're like, heck, no.
For me, I would say medicine.
Why? And you want to be a doctor?
Okay, yeah, okay, I want to be a doctor, yeah, but you see, for my passion in becoming a doctor is not to earn like money, because I just love helping people. But now in terms of Gen Z, you see, like medicine really requires a lot of things, even in the course itself, the 7 years, like what you need in the course. And now when you look at today's, you see doctors striking, and the reason being they're not paid, or maybe they're not paid well. You see, so and you see we have parents who are doctors, so of course they'll tell you, we pay this and this. Then you're like, after 7 years, and they will like, being a doctor, people believe that you're a doctor, so you must be earning a lot of money. I believe that's
it's a misconception. It's a myth, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a misconception either.
Yeah, exactly. I just believe that it's just an overrated course.
Yeah. And way back, being a doctor was a big job.
A big
like
thing.
You'd be celebrated and honored.
Yeah, I actually, for me, I wanted to become a doctor in class 2. So I was like, hey, hey, I could see doctors come to our primary schools and I'm like, yo, I want to become like these people. But nowadays, doctors
Now the
are
passion
just,
is dying, yeah.
no,
So
it's
you-
not dying, the passion.
it's
but
still there, but
yeah, it's still there, but now,
not for monetary
yeah,
gain.
if I had monetary, reasons, my passion definitely would have already died.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Austin?
On my side, I can say nursing. Nursing is very underrated in this
Oh,
generation.
you feel like it's underrated?
Yeah, it is very underrated. You see that many people, especially us Gen Zs, believe that nursing like are for females. Many people believe that, and as we see the upcoming generation, you see that many people are doing nursing, even males.
In fact, it has been dominated by
it
males.
has been it has been dominated, and we see that in the Kenyan economy, nurses are paid very less. They are paid less. And what they study is what doctors study. As much as I know of, they study anatomy, they study physiology. Doctors also do that. And nurses, especially nurses, do more of doctors' work. You see that doctors are here to consult, and then
it's
the
more,
rest is
it's more of
left for nurses.
caregiving than medicinal.
Yeah, you see that the nurses are more in the patient.
So thank you. I want you to, lastly, we are exiting, we are not adding another statement.
Okay.
Tell the viewer and the Gen Z, the Guardian, why it's very imperative for them to be a part of Career Access Africa and how they can do that in a minute as we exit. In fact, 50 seconds.
Okay, so guys, I believe that Career Access Africa is the best place for you to be. Your child will get the best career counseling. You know, as a parent, you will also get counseling for yourself. And to be able to do that, we have offices in Nairobi, near Serena Hotel along Mamlaka Road, Utumishi Cooperative House. We also have websites, www.careeraccessafrica.co.com, and also we have a social media platforms.
Social media platforms?
Yeah, we have TikTok at Career Access Africa. We also have Instagram, Career Access Africa.
All right. Thank you both. You guys have really brilliant futures ahead of you, to say.
Thank you.
Austin and Dania.
Thank you
so
for hosting
much.
us as well. We're really honored.
Karibu sana and good luck. All the best.
Thank you.
All right. And we also say thank you so much for watching us from exactly 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. We'll see you tomorrow bright and early right here at Y254 channel and at Brand Circle 101. See you tomorrow.